be the swinging notice if my name was David Ruffin. Quick to toast an MC just like an English muffin. Don't worry about a thing because the fool was never bluffing. I get headaches from the wax. So then I take a buffin and I max. I wait until the opportune time and then I tax. But should I max? Aesthetics is sinning and for sinners, so I guess I'm not a sinner. Beginners for beginners, so I guess I'm no beginner. This is how I spark it. Put money in my pocket. When it comes to having pressure, I get hard as a rocket. MC Grand Fool coming through all the residue. The songs are main classics dating back to the Babalu. My boys, I call them hot. The phone's out of them jock, and I can think of many episodes I sprung in Lincoln Park. No, I'm not a phony, and I got a tenderoni. Left the way she is not too fat, not too bony.
Ooh, think like I think. All right, listen, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to Andrew's Podcast. Of course, we are getting off to a late start, but hey, we are here. And if you checking in, let me drop the sheet here down a little bit there. Yeah. All right. So if you guys can hear me clearly, somebody please get in the chat real fast and let me know. Say, hey, man, we can hear you clearly. The mayor is going to be joining me here very shortly. He was traveling, and so he'll be jumping on here real short. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to get to. A lot's been going on in the last 24, 48 hours. Thank you for that like. Sound like they over there testing engines tonight. But again, if this is your first time here, please hit that like button on your way in. Hit that follow button so that you can be the first to, whenever we come up with new content, you'll be the first one to get it. Okay. Lots happening over there in Georgetown, South Carolina. A lot of things that been kind of confusing to me. But hold on a second. Let me send the link out because I have some announcements to make. And I want to do all of that before we get into the heavy part of what all we want to talk about tonight. So because there's a lot, and let me be clear. Right. My position is to the people. I want the people to get the best candidate, the best whatever. I don't care who it is. Okay. That's my aim and my goal here. And to be a watchdog for the news agencies. Because they're not playing fair and they're not being called out either. But we'll get to that. So, guys, just hang around, okay? Let me get this link sent out. Got a young lady wants to tell you guys about an event that's going to be coming up here on November 14th and 15th out in the Plantersville area. Actually, at Hasty Point. All right, let me get this out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this link in the chat. All right, and again, guys, my co-host will be on very soon because I got some questions that I think he'll be qualified to ask. And qualified to answer or give me the best possible answer, right? Because a lot, and this is for my people in the city of Georgetown. I want to, a lot has been said about water bills, but there's not been a lot of explaining for myself. So I had to go and do some research on the subject. Let me put this in the chat. I'm sorry. I'm constantly running my mouth, yeah. There's the chat. There's a link in there. Okay. Thank you for that like, Mr. Blair, and welcome to Andrew's the Podcast. We're going to have a great show tonight. We got a lot to talk about. And there is that link right there in the chat. It'll pop up there in a second. Bing, bing, boom. Again, I do know I can tell you about the players' ball. No, the Veterans Ball that's going to take place on November 8th in Andrews, South Carolina. The mayor will be on in a little bit, and he can tell you guys a lot more about that. That situation there. So I'm waiting for this young lady to pop in and tell you guys about this event that they have coming up here. It's the Sweet Potato Festival. It's going to be going down. It's in celebration and commemoration. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. In commemoration of 250th year anniversary of the American Revolution. And this is going to take place Saturday, November 15th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Hasty Point Plantation. And the address for that is, let me make this a little bigger so I can see it. There it is. 773 Hasty Point Drive, Georgetown, South Carolina. Taste history, see history, live history. Kids Colonial Corner. And this is some of the stuff that's going to be going on out there. Coloring art, colonial games, face painting, and I see the slave dwelling down there. So that Mr. Joseph McGill will be there. But for those of you who don't know, there is I don't know what you would call it, but there's a commemoration of the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution, and each state is doing different things. Each state that was involved in that. I know I've seen VA 250. I've seen, other states, but South Carolina has that, and each county in the state has a commission, has a board, or should have a board, because there's a lot of money that's flowing down with this SC 250, and it's very interesting. It's very interesting, the American Revolution, that whole story, that whole thing. All right, let's see what we got. All right. When people say, people be like, "Hey, you playing?" I don't like that. That's the one thing. I used to not go out on recess because it was playing. There was a lot of playing going on. But let me get this link sent over. And again, the mayor will be popping in here pretty soon. Send this link again, because there it is again. Boom, 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 boom. But guys, I definitely want to welcome you to. All right, we here. Yeah, because some of the things I want to talk about is what's realistic and what's not realistic. Again, I was listening to the candidates. I listened to the interview. Of course, we all saw the piece on Gab News, the hit piece that was put there. Somebody else asked a real question, because what Gab does not reveal to you guys a lot of times is that he does paid work. Like, it should say, hey, this is a paid ad. And maybe it does somewhere in the fine print. Remember, we talked about fine print last night. But it's always an answer for, these things. And why wouldn't why would they turn the comments off? Why wouldn't they want to hear what the people are saying? But they got a real divisive, it's a divided situation there in Georgetown, South Carolina, the city of Georgetown. And I just think that the people are going to be the ones that suffer in this, right? And again, Republican, Democrat, I really don't care. Okay, I just want answers, and I want the best possible candidate, right, for the job. For the future of the people. But again, the big thing is the light bill. That's what I've gathered, right? And Mr. Hobson, request that Scott sends you those questions that he's going to ask you beforehand, because he does got you journalism, and he's leading you down a path where he's trying to get you to promise things that you possibly can't deliver. And he knows he's doing that. You know what I mean? He knows exactly what he's doing. Okay. Because he does have a political, which is his right, you know what I mean, to lean whatever way he wants to lean politically. And he does that. I promise you that much. But we'll get into some of that. So right now, while we're waiting, let's get into what happened today in Georgetown. This was the response to the okay, well, I guess we can hold off on that. Got my guest in here. All right, and let me start out with this right here. Remove that. I'll start with this. Okay. Nope, not what I just had. That. What going on, boy? There we go. That's up there somewhere, I promise you. But all right, here we go.
On November 15th at Hasty Point in Georgetown County for the Sweet Potato Festival, a day to celebrate food, history, and our vibrant community. This year, we uncover the untold stories of the American Revolution by honoring Oscar, the enslaved personal servant of General Francis Marion, the Swamp Fox. Experience living history demonstrations, savor delicious entries in the sweet potato pie contest, enjoy a unique tea tasting with local artisans, and be moved by powerful storytelling that brings our shared past to life. Come together for a meaningful day of remembrance, reflection, and community connection.
All right, so I want to welcome to the podcast Miss Pelora Richards. Welcome. I'm having a little time here, but there you go. Welcome. And tell us a little bit more about what you got going on as I run through some of these flyers here.
Sure. Well, I'm going to start by saying, hey guys, how are you, everyone? And yes, so I am a member of the Georgetown 250 committee. And each of the 46 counties in the state of South Carolina do have a committee. But here in Georgetown, we have an upcoming 2-day festival, which is November the 14th, as well as November the 15th. So on the 14th, we will kick it off with the Slave Dwelling Project, Mr. Joseph McGill. And we're going to have conversations around the campfire, some authentic, untold stories that have yet to surface in the general public, things that are still being built, learned upon right now in living live time. In live time, we're learning about new stuff that happened over 250 years ago. So that is that Friday night, and it's going to start at 6 p.m. And then on that Saturday morning at 10 a.m., we will have our Sweet Potato Festival. And yes, there are many festivals in the state of South Carolina, the Sweet Potato Festivals, but here in Georgetown, this festival is solely tying to one of the most famous oil paintings of General Francis Marion, the Swamp Fox, is of him speaking to a British officer. And on the other side of him, he have a manservant kneeling down roasting sweet potatoes. And that oil painting is called the Sweet Potato and Cold Water Dinner. So we would like to highlight the agriculture here in Georgetown County, but also to pay homage to those untold men and women that served during the American Revolution here in Georgetown. We learn a lot about this in our public school system, but not enough about South Carolina's contribution to the American Revolution, let alone here in Georgetown. Like, this war turned here in Georgetown because of the contributions of those that were enslaved. That terminology, guerrilla warfare, we know that terminology. Everybody hear about that terminology in today's military, but that terminology dates back to the 1700s. And we want to pay homage to those brave men and women that served here in Georgetown County and surrounding areas. So, guys, this is a free festival. This is free. You don't have to pay for nothing. Nothing. It is free. Both nights are free to the public. And yes, it is at Hasty Point. Hasty Point in Plantersville community here in Georgetown, one of the original communities to Georgetown County. And that's where one of the skirmishes actually took place. So it's a historical marker it's a most definitely a historical marker here in Georgetown.
And where could folks go to get more information about the event and about that day so they can?
Well, I'll start by saying about that day and any other days here in South Carolina, you can all visit the SC 250 Commission. If you Google SC 250 or SC 250 Commission, there's a whole webpage. It's a state-of-the-art webpage that they have with all of these cool events and upcoming things that are happening in South Carolina. Our Sweet Potato Festival, as well as the campfire conversation around the campfires, is posted under the event page there. But here on Facebook and social media, we do have events on different event pages on different platforms. So on Facebook, if you go into Georgetown and type in November festivals or events, it should pop up as well as on Instagram. But you can always visit the South Carolina 250 website as well.
All right. Well, we look forward to that. And are you partnered with somebody in this?
Yes, so we have several different partners. First and foremost, here in Georgetown, I'm a member, but I'm sponsored by the C. Williams Rush Museum out in Williamsburg County, where the owner and curator is Miss Cassandra Williams Rush. You guys may know her from Williams Vineyard, the Muscadine grape farm here in Williamsburg County. But she's our sponsor. But we also have the Slave Dwelling Project as a partner in this endeavor, as well as the Waccamaw National Wildlife Refuges, which is actually the property manager. They manage Hasty Point right now. So it's a free to public space. It's open 7 days a week. And guys, if you never visit Hasty Point, come out to the Sweet Potato Festival or come out to the conversations around the campfire and get to see the grounds. It's beautiful.
All right, guys, you see it right there. There's the information on the screen. We'll be definitely look forward to talking to you guys again as we get closer to this event. Because it's important to know the history of where you at.
Yes, yep. It's most definitely important. We've been left out of this storyline for the past 250 years. Hey, it's now our turn, and who better to tell your story than you?
No doubt. All right, so Ms. Richards, I appreciate you. I'm about to get into the battlefield out here right now.
Take it easy, but thank you guys for sharing our endeavor, our events.
Absolutely. You have a good evening.
Same to you.
All right. Yeah, guys. So once again, that's Friday, November 14th at 6 p.m. Hasty Point. I had Mr. McGill on one Tuesday night. Share some clips from that. Very, very fascinating, interesting conversation around history, and the whole slave dwelling project is very interesting. Okay, so guys, put that on your calendar. Put that on your calendar. So again, Mayor will be with us here shortly. He just hit me with the 10-minute. Again, we're going to move now into what happened today in Georgetown. And there was a response to an article that came out in Gab News about the Georgetown City Council candidate, Miss Jessie Walker, and her past. Well, the Republican Party, the Georgetown County Republican Party, that's whose name is on the bottom of that website, dedicated a whole website to putting information out that public information and anybody can, but it was presented to have a smear effect, and it did, and it was delivered across Gab News, and nobody said anything to him about that, like as if. But anyway, so let's listen to this press conference, and the mayor should be on in a second here, and I'll give you my thoughts on it, my thoughts and opinion on it. So here we go.
On. All right. Here. Georgetown County Democratic Party and all. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us, the People's Team of the Georgetown County Democratic Party, and also on behalf of the Georgetown County Democratic Party. My name is Marilyn Hemingway. I am chair of the party, and I am here to address a concern. But before we get into that, we want to take a moment of silence to share our thoughts and prayers and actions with our fellow citizens in the city of Georgetown and Georgetown County who just went through a storm, a natural disaster, because that's why we're here, to address the needs of the people. So we'll just take a moment of silence and then we'll get started. Thank you. And I want to emphasize that on behalf of the Georgetown County Democratic Party and our candidates for the city of Georgetown, they're concerned for the people who've just come through about 4 days of overwhelming rain and flooding and the impact of that. That's who we should all be concerned about. But unfortunately, we have to address a very misleading action by the Georgetown County Republican Party. And let me start by saying it's nasty. It's just nasty of the Georgetown County Republican Party to require an investigation of a citizen who has put herself forward as a candidate for the city of Georgetown. There is not one person standing here today who is a virgin of life. If you live long enough, you will make decisions, good and bad, that impact your life. So if you are without sin, throw that stone. But there is no one here who is without fault. Let's start there. But aren't you tired of politics that's just nasty and does not solve our problems? What the Georgetown County Republican Party
should probably get in another game, because politics as I know it is nasty and it's going to continue to be nasty, but I digress.
Party did in the name of Sarah Anderson, the chair of that party, does not solve the pressing issues that the citizens of Georgetown face. We have lost in the last 2 years the International Paper Company, the steel mill. If you're from Georgetown, generations of being from Georgetown, you understand that those entities created the middle class in Georgetown. Were they perfect? They were not. Just as I noted, as people, we are not perfect. However, people are suffering from the decisions that close those corporations. Middle-class jobs have left Georgetown, and we have a slate of 3 people who understand that working families are feeling that pain. Families are sitting at their kitchen tables making the decision, do I pay the ever-rising utility bill because of the energy costs, or do I buy medicine? Do I feed my family, or do I keep the lights on? Do I leave Georgetown, where my family has been here generations, or do I stay here and find minimum wage jobs at $7.25 an hour because Republicans refuse to raise the minimum wage? Those are real decisions that these 3 candidates are concerned about. The Republican.
Here's what I would say to you all, right? Government is not going to solve your problems, right? And I'm talking to the young people here, right? Government is not ever going to solve your problems. What you can do is acquire a skill set that will pay you enough that you can earn yourself a livable wage. Okay? That's what you should be focusing on. Taking advantage of these classes, these programs. I remember the Parson Foundation they were giving away, not giving away, but had a $5,000 scholarship that had nothing to do with the tuition, just to help people get along. Take advantage of things like that. Don't sit around and wait for politicians who have created nothing to determine your economic future in this country, where you can make money if you acquire skills.
Party is wasting time while people are suffering and making real decisions. We are here because we are concerned. We are here because these three people have been working diligently, meeting with folks, knocking on doors, listening, so that they can address these problems. We have here, and we'll share it with the media, they are giving real tips on how to lower your energy bill. This is how real this is. But in the meantime, the Republican Party is wasting taxpayer money and time by demanding an investigation. Ms. Jessie M. Walker has paid her debt to society. She has not run from this. Anyone, including Thomas Watson, who went to the Justice Center and pulled those records, because dark money is at play here. Let's just call it out, folks. They rather spend dark money ginning up issues, creating blasphemy, than actually solving real problems. So we all need to take the time to look in the mirror at ourselves and decide, do I want perfection, or do I want to elect someone or some bodies who understand what we are going through and they're trying to give us real solutions? That's why we're here today. The Republicans are going to be Republicans. They're not going to call out the 34-count felon in the White House. They're not going to call out former Representative Mays, who had to resign because of sexual actions against children, our children. You don't hear that from the local Republican Party. And you don't hear a lot more. You don't hear about Jonathan Agner. It's so ironic that yesterday on Facebook, 4 years ago, it popped up, Jonathan Agner yelling at the former mayor. For what? A white man in a 50% black town with a history of lynching, using his body.
I'm going to be very careful right here. I'm going to be very careful right here.
And voice against a black man. Let's call it all out. Or we have a police chief putting on the City of Georgetown Police Department Facebook page in memory of Charlie Kirk, a man, an open bigot who has attacked black women and black men and other minorities from hate. It is ironic that this city council...
And Charlie Kirk is dead. And how funny is it that all of these people who telling us how dangerous Charlie Kirk was, go back and look at their timelines. See how many of them have been warning us about the dangers of Charlie Kirk. If most people are honest like me, hell, I don't know what Charlie Kirk talks about. He couldn't have been that damn dangerous. They blew his damn head off on live TV.
Passed a hate intimidation ordinance, and they are doing hate and intimidation. And it's intimidation of folks. Thank you. It's intimidation of folks who are looking at what's happening and saying, I'm not going to run for office because I don't know what they're going to do to me.
You got to be a fool if you're running for office and don't know what they're going to do to you. You got to be a fool who just does not look at politics with a realistic approach. There's a difference. There's a big difference between a campaign manager and a campaign strategist. And until people learn that, they're gonna get their teeth kicked in. They're gonna get their teeth kicked in.
But we're sending the message, run for office, because the Georgetown County Democratic Party is going to stick up for you. Because right is right.
All right, and for those who don't know, who not clear on exactly what it is they're saying that this lady, Miss Walker, apparently there's a time period that needs to pass between the time that you were convicted, that your case was adjudicated, and the time that you run for office. And I guess we're right at that time. It's kind of close to that time or whatever. But I don't think that their goal was to it's to do exactly what it's doing now. It was as a political strategist. Come on, man. It's like shooting ducks in a pond, in a barrel. Who wouldn't go for the low hanging fruit? But to act incredulous as if, oh, we wouldn't do this. That's why you don't win. It's exactly why you don't win.
None of us are without sin. None of us have not ever made bad decisions. But guess what? We made good decisions too. And it's a good decision to look at who really cares about people and you vote for them. This is real, folks. These folks are not for us. They are not for working families and working individuals. They would rather spend time creating a website with a false narrative, ask for an investigation to misalign someone's history. We are not here for that. We don't have time for that. These three, and I'm going to do it in alphabetical order: Sharon Melton, Hobson Henry Melton, and Jesse M. Walker have.
And see, this is again, putting on my political strategist hat. This is why I don't like the idea of I don't like the idea of candidates running as a team. I can't stand that. I think that's stupid. And as a political strategist, I would never recommend that. And what does that mean for the city of Georgetown? You got the J team, and then you got the people's team. People are usually loyal to the teams that they rock with. It's just human nature. And now it was a strategic blow to go after Ms. Walker, because Ms. Walker was the more prominent, the more out front. And now everybody else is going to feel the blowback from that. That's the danger of running in packs. Strike the shepherd in the head and watch the sheep scatter. But I'm going a little too far. Let's go. Calm it down a little bit.
Been doing the work. They've been listening to the people, as witnessed by those who are standing with us who reflect Georgetown City. This is Georgetown. And we're standing up for people who understand the suffering that is happening, the hard decisions people have to make to keep their home, to stay in their home, stay with their family, and keep loving their family. It is your brother, sister, aunt, uncle, your children who worked at the paper mill and steel mill who are now looking for work. And these three are doing the work to help bring good paying jobs, minimum wage.
I was in Georgetown today, and I didn't see a lot of signs. Like, I didn't see a lot of, and I guess maybe it's because this is not a general election, and that state money's not flowing down like it would do during a general election. But I'm just not seeing it. So my question is, who did the better job? Who did the better job of bringing new voters in? And was I there? No, I was not there. That's why we're listening to it now.
Jobs to Georgetown. Actually, not even minimum wage, but living wage jobs to Georgetown. The Republicans should be shameful. But we know that they're not full of shame, because if they were, they would have called out their president. They would have called out Representative Mays and countless others who are hypocrites. Enough is enough. Look in that mirror and make a decision, because this is a question of character and morality. And enough is enough. Let us solve the problems that we all face together.
All right, let's see. Just heard the mayor pop in there. Where you at? I heard you pop in. Okay, there you go. All right, how are you, sir?
Man, this has been a nightmare. Traveling sucks.
It happens. Don't have
the proper lighting. I don't know what I'm in an undisclosed location now.
Hey, it happens. That's how I'm gonna have to start moving, man, after I finish with this show tonight, because I'm gonna I just had some observations I've been taking. I was just reviewing the video of the press conference from today. Did you have a chance to review that? I
did. Yeah, while I was traveling, I had an opportunity to to listen to it. It's, not sure if I'm not sure if all the things needed to be addressed occurred that day. Maybe there's a follow-on.
I think it's my assessment of it again is that they kind of missed some windows, and one of the main things was that it wasn't addressed about how this thing was delivered, like, and that was the first person to ask a question, and it got to a point in the interview where one of the interviewers, whoever, one of the reporters or whoever it was, people in the crowd was wanting to ask Miss Williams some questions, and I thought that was weird and kind of crazy that she didn't answer the questions. If she's not running or hiding from anything, why not address it? You know what I mean? But
you said Miss Williams?
Yeah.
Who's that?
I'm sorry, Miss Walker.
Well, I probably agree that, and again, I don't, I'm not affiliated with any party, but see, I know Miss Walker. I've worked with her for, ever since I've been here, and I've known, and this is at some high levels and at the state level, and she's done an incredible amount of work through the economic development and a whole bunch of others, and she even chaired some of those positions at the top level. So, so I was a bit surprised about, what recently was brought to light, but that did not. Again, that's 16 years ago. And I think, as you said in one of your promos, she's paid her debt to society. And for the past 16 years, if you got to go back 16 years to pull up dirt that, again, a person has had, led a stellar life, then that tells me that you're probably concerned about this candidate, coming in. That's the
only reason you make a website. You, as a political strategist myself, I've done some takedowns. I can't tell you where, but I would have went the same way. That's who is perceived as the strongest candidate.
Yeah,
and so that's who they went. That's who they went for.
Yeah, and I understand that. That's this political life that we choose to come into. It's not kind to you, and so not knocking the Republican Party for this desperate attempt to smear this lady's name. I'm not knocking that. That's a part of this political thing. You see that at every level. But what I would have wanted to hear today too is that let's talk about what this lady has done.
There you go.
That's the biggest years.
That's the biggest missed opportunity right then. When you had all of these ears, you could have laid out this lady's work as opposed to that blip on the radar. And I don't think that they personally, I don't think that they went into this with a strategy. I don't think that's just my opinion, because that was missed. How could you miss? There's a big opportunity right there. Okay, she's not running from it.
No,
And
she's
there
not.
it is. Is sitting right there. This opportunity. Okay, you want to throw this out here? Well, let's put this on the scale against what I have actually done, and then weigh what they have done. But these people,
Yeah,
I don't know
I
what
mean,
kind of
'cause you look
fighters
at
they
it-
got over there. I don't
Yeah.
know what kind of fighters they got over there, bro.
If you look at people's record from the past 16 years, whether it's the current candidates or whomever else been working in the county, in the city, and at state level, I believe Mrs. Walker's record will stand up against anybody, to include mine. I've only been doing this for 10 years at this level. I've worked 30 years at the federal level. But when we look at the impact that any of us have had on our community for an extended period of time,
The work.
and I will
The
tell
work.
you that Miss Jessie Walker's record from the municipal, county, and state level, I know. I've seen her. I've served on boards with her, and again, she was the chairperson at the state level. So I think, and again, her work speaks for it, and that's what needs to be up front at this point in time. That what people need to understand.
That's what they're trying to bury. That was the whole purpose of this. Let's muddy the water. That's if I had a strong candidate across from me like that, pop, I'm launching that missile right there. And it was strategically launched, right? Because if you pay attention, that dropped, and then 2 interviews that I think again, I'm not you guys' I'm not you guys' campaign managers, but as a political strategist, I would say to you, do not walk into an interview without the questions already in your hand. Okay? That's how you get backed in, and then you're on the spot, and then he drops this article that he put the link into this thing, trying to destroy, forget politics, trying to destroy this woman's life. Okay? And then he drops to say, oh, well, I'm balanced. He drops 2 interviews that he was sitting on from the other 2 candidates. Dirty.
But what I'll tell you is, and again, what I've learned the last decade of working with and around and watching Miss Jessie work, she's one of the strongest person, not just a woman, but the strongest person in that you're going to find, and who's committed to doing the work for the people. That's, I don't know, again, what her life's path, from the point of where, it wasn't the best part of her life, but I can tell you everything from that point forward has been dedicated to not just to helping herself, but to helping a community. And I'm not, she didn't ask me to say this. I'm just telling you what I know firsthand. And again, this is dirty. There's dirty politics, whether it's coming from a news agency. I've been subjected to some of this stuff, but again, if you're a strong person and convicted in what you're doing, this little small attempt from this, it's not going to stop, and it's not going to stop a person like her. And one of the guys who asked the question, and you started, I guess, doing the question and answer period, says, and already written the article. So you already know what the state's position on this timeline from 2009 to now, and when that time period is important. Not necessarily, and as I understand it, what I've read in that article that was published is that it is from the time, from the election period, not when you sign up. And I think that's the thing that's in question now.
They know that wasn't their aim.
But then you're going to ask that question again today after you wrote about it in your article. So who's working for who?
Right here, buddy. Here he is. Here he is.
And again, I'm not going to knock people's means of providing for their family, but again, I'm not going to pay a news agency to tell a story of mine. I'll tell my own.
And Veronica, I wouldn't say no. Go on Gab. He has a huge platform. Don't be ridiculous. What I'm saying is, don't walk into a room with him and you're not prepared. Okay? Don't do it. Don't do it. He's walking in there and he's leading you down a path. Where? So, Mayor, this is what kept coming up, right? About the light bills, and I sensed that he was trying to back Mr. Milton into a corner where he was going to say, yeah, I can do this, I can do that. And so what I came up with here tonight, and I want you as a public official to talk about, I mean, well, I'm gonna put these things up and you tell me if you agree or disagree with what council people, what council members, what they can realistically, you know, when candidates, if a candidate says they can stop the rate increases, I'm gonna put some things up here and we're gonna talk about what they can and realistically cannot do, and what they can influence and what they can't influence. All right. And some of the things that they can influence is decision making and oversight. The city council and the mayor typically have authority over approving utility budgets, rate proposals, and possibly oversight of the utility department or board, depending on the structure of the way the government's set up.
Okay.
Well,
here's the deal. And again, I'm trying to get this other system up so we can have a better, I can't sit here because each entity is different, and
okay,
how you come to a decision, what you're deciding on, and what other things play into it. There's so many things that have to be considered or should be when you're talking about rate increase or tax increase, and the same thing we just went through. And I will tell you flat out, nobody, I don't care where you are, no one is going to think that raising taxes is a good thing.
No,
But
no.
the reality is that in order to keep up, that's how you keep your municipality, your county, whatever, moving, is you're going to have to pay taxes, and
so
it's going to increase based on the cost of doing business and living. That's just the facts. Now, how do you now? I think where we all, and again, elected officials have to be, can consider is how much are we willing to do at any period of time, each budget year. We talked about this thing in terms of Andrews. We were told that in order to ensure that the water and sewer revenue can match is sufficient to maintain the system, DES told us at the time that we would have to raise the increases by 60%, or the fees by 60%. We knew now that was what they're saying to generate the money to maintain the system. At this point in time, you're going to have to raise it at 60%. We said there's no way we can do that, and the impact it will have on the citizens. So now this is where the council comes in, or the governing body. You got to be very creative in looking at ways, how do we now appease these regulators, which is DHEC or DES, and in terms of raising these taxes, but don't bury your citizens. And what we did after a long, negotiating and getting people involved, we said we can't do that, but allow us to do certain percentages, which was either 3.5% to 5% over a 10-year period. And then we'll look at other ways of reducing the maintenance impact on the budget, and looking at different ways to do this thing. And even sometimes, you have to bring people at a salary that is probably not competitive to other places. So it's things you have to look at. And I think one of the things we're saying, so as opposed to this 17% raise, I think that they did at one point in time
in 2023.
Yeah. So then, was there any other way to minimize the impact on the citizens? That's where the council's voice and the people come together and work to try to figure that out. And sometimes, in all fairness, sometimes you don't have the flexibility to do it.
And that could be the possibility. And this is what I don't want. I would hate to see the people voting thinking that, okay, we're looking for this decrease. And realistically, once you look into how the system's managed, where does money, when you start following the money, because I don't think it's a situation where the city of Georgetown sitting back getting fat collecting these bills, because I think the way it's set up, they're buying power from Santee. Now I don't know if you know any more detail about it like that, but
No, I have no idea. And again, those are all the things that play, because they have it's a larger city than Andrews, and they have other revenue generators. Again, they have power, they sell power. We don't have that. So you look at, their budget is somewhere, I think, close to 60 million, and ours is, barely 4 million. So we got to make 4 million work. So we can't do a whole lot of things as fast and quick as some of the other municipalities that are larger. And I think that's a part of this thing is missing as well. So I'm very cautious to challenge or to question any other leader's decision on taxes and how they do it. But it's the citizens and others, just get involved, be there, and ask those questions up front. Now, perhaps these 3 new candidates can come in and figure out other ways to do it. I don't know. But it is, you have an opportunity when you look at the demands and what you have to fund. Tough decisions have to be made. I can only say that, and that's fair, I think, to anybody, regardless, really you are Republican, Democrat. It's about meeting those demands
and that's what that's the thing, is that there's a level of to the customer, hey, my bill's going up, and I don't think that I don't think it's being communicated to them as to why, right? And again, not that the why is going to matter, because like you said, an increase is not popular nowhere that I know of.
That's right.
So that's my purpose in putting this stuff up across the screen. These are some things that what they cannot do as a politician is they can't ignore unbalanced finances. If the utility is losing money, I mean that's almost like the situation in water, and the water situation in Andrews. If you keep ignoring it, we losing money. Like you're derelicting in your duty.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think at all levels will never be fully understood by the citizens who have never been in these positions to have to make these kind of decisions. You'll never fully understand that, and so you would only hope that the people you have in place is doing it, is looking at all of the other options. It's considering all these other things. Do we really have to raise it this much in one budget year?
It'd be great to see the agreement.
Yeah. And so, and they're just like in any government, you're going to have, these processes are done in public forum. So then if you don't come and be a part of it, you're going to have to trust the process. And trust between citizens and government, it's not likely. So it's tough to say. It's not an easy thing. And so if the folks, again, take the time to go and speak with your representatives and all this kind of business, maybe they have a better understanding. I don't know. Maybe they've done that. I do see that, they have a greater participation at their council meetings than we do.
Oh, yeah.
And you just look at the numbers. We got about 5 people that show up regularly. As long as I've been here, it's always about 4 gentlemen. And you just can't, you have to make it public, but you can't force people to come and be a part of the process. But when these things hit, once it's done and you miss your opportunity to have a voice, then it's in the books. Now these elected officials have to move forward, and their staff, and govern according to what you now have in law, because that is the law.
Yeah. So another thing that I found fascinating about today was that the mayor, the candidate that's running for mayor is he's not a Democrat, he's not a Republican, he's part of the Forward Party, and the Forward Party, often shortened to Forward, is a centrist political party in the United States. This party was founded by former Democratic 2020 presidential candidate, and 2021 New York City mayoral candidate Andrew Young. It describes its goals as the reduction of partisan. That's kind of what Georgetown needs right now. Polarization.
So how's that different from the independents?
You got me on that. That's what I was sitting there thinking. Like, this sounds like the independent spew. Is America ready for a third party?
And this is not the first time that there's, and even now inside of the parties, there are parties.
Yes.
You got the progressives, and you got all the I try to stay away. Matter of fact, I think we're on now. Let me see. I might be able to go big screen. Yeah, it's interesting, man. I try to keep it simple, keep my head to the ground with this nonpartisan business and represent the people equally, and you're not going to meet all their demands, but just be fair. So I don't know what the purpose of this party, independent, all this other business, but I'll be listening because I'm interested in it. See what's happening.
I mean, he's got the support of the Democratic Party, obviously. I guess. Listen, what did it say? Politics makes strange bedfellows.
Trust me. that's an understatement. Man, that's an understatement. That's a whole nother podcast.
Yes, it is. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have. I mean, I think what it generally means is obviously you're going to have to work with others that you probably you don't fully agree with their positions, and this compromise, and and I find that to be in anything we do is working with other people and making the best decisions that support your people. That's really what it is, or should be. I'm about to enter into. Here we go.
All right, let's get you back up there.
All right. A little bit.
There we go.
I'm in the cave, man. This reminds me of when I was out there in the combat zone. We have these little huts. We get in, a little bit of light, and you can see the map. Make decisions. That's kind of what I feel right now, being in this undisclosed location. So if you can see me.
Yeah. We good to go.
All right, cool.
We good to go. Give me a second here. Let me pull up some graphic here. But we got a big thing coming up here on the 8th of November.
Yes, sir.
Special guest coming down to the A. Let's see here. All right. And I'm not going to put that flyer up, but what I am going to put up.
We're making some adjustments to that, adding the QR code and all that business to it.
Okay.
Make it a little easier to purchase your tickets.
But you got who I know as South Carolina's sheriff, probably the most popular sheriff, definitely in South Carolina. And you got Sheriff Leon Lott coming. I'm looking for his picture here.
Yeah, man, that's shout out to Sheriff Lott, man. I went. Well, first of all, I was looking for someone that that is obviously a military veteran. And I saw not that long ago that he serves as a commanding general for South Carolina National State Guard, and I think it has a special mission assignment for the governor's purpose. And so, and with his extensive career in law enforcement, I see those two careers kind of mirror in many aspects, and I thought he would be the right person to come down and share some words with us and with our veterans. And this would be the first that I know of, the first veterans ball I know, at least for Andrews. This is a black tie event. It's going to be, the standard military ball, a little bit different, than what probably our average citizen or civilian has been a part of. They have all those things that when you walk away from that, you'll see how we do business routinely in uniform for our uniform black tie events. A lot of folks already expressed interest. You're right, and he's a very popular young man. I saw some of the comments we were getting in there once we had launched the flyer that expressed a lot of interest to come in and meet Sheriff Lott. So we feel privileged, and he didn't hesitate when I and again, like I said, I went to his office and I said, if they're going to tell me no, they'll tell me no to my face. And great staff, they never hesitated and said, he enjoys doing his special things again in support of our uniformed soldiers.
That's going to be a big deal right there. Looking forward to that, definitely.
Yeah, so I invite, yes, it was that, okay. Yes, we will. This will be a black tie. So you get an opportunity to bring your best man, your best lady out and all dressed up. And so we're looking forward to it, man. I'm in a little trim down, phase now, trying to get some of the weight off so I can get back in uniform. It's always a challenge. After 10 years of being out of uniform, things just pop up in places that you don't understand. And so I'm working on that. So I will be in uniform.
Where is this going to take place at?
It's going to be at the high school auxiliary gym. That's the newest facility they have there on campus. Very beautiful facility. So that's where we'll be held, and it's right directly behind the gym where where all the activities, most of the activities take place. And so we're setting up this flyer. When we push it back out tonight or tomorrow, it'll have the QR code so you can go there and purchase a ticket. So it's $30 per individual, couple $45. So you're about $22.50 per person, which is really reasonable. You get a good hot meal, great company, and after the formal piece of that, it'll be some more social activities going.
Whenever they sell out and they post that they've sold out, I will have tickets, and they will be $75 for the single, $125 for the couple.
Hey, you're gonna black market my stuff.
I'm gonna be in front of the place hawking them. Yes, sir.
We got to put another special code on this thing.
Yes, sir. Don't think you won't be able to get in. Just know it's gonna cost you.
But y'all listen to Jamal out there. But now, man, it's going to be really nice. So we're putting our best foot forward on this thing again, and the primary purpose is to celebrate our heroes, and not only that, all the proceeds will go to our POW MIA monument that we're going to build in Andrews in the city limits, and that'll be directly across from the MLK monument. And so we'll talk more about this, and I'll present it to council on Thursday. But that is the whole.
Y'all heard it first, breaking news. And council meeting is this Thursday. It'll be the third Thursday of the month. So guys, make sure you are there, right across the street from Town Hall.
Yes. So all things work out. This will be a place, because I don't think there's a monument specifically for prisoner of war MIA service members.
I thought it was cool when I did the a couple years ago at the veteran ceremony where they had the table for the POW. I thought that was
we will have, that will be, and it's always a part of our formal affairs, that there'll be a table there for our missing, for our POW MIA, and there's a ceremonial piece of that comes with it, and then there's taps that plays in honor of in memory of our missing and POWs. So want to come out and get a good flavor for the military and how we do things, then this is the right time. November 8th, 6 p.m., 6 to 7 is our reception time, and then 7 o'clock we move into the formal part of the event.
Yeah, I was looking for that picture. Picture you sent me today. You ran into old Bezaloo today, huh?
We have a bad connection.
Let's see what we got going. My internet is Unstable. I got to start plugging into the router. But now I said, you ran into Bezelou today, Javon.
Still kind of garbage.
What is going on here? Hold on. All right, can you hear me better now? Nope.
Sir. All right, there you go.
All right, what do we have? Let's lose some of this, lose this. All right, are you picking me up now, or is it still?
Yeah, you're good.
Nope.
Yes.
Nothing. Oh. Is it sounding muffled or something?
Not anymore.
Okay. All right. Good deal.
You're clear.
All right. Yeah, but you ran into Bezelou today, huh?
Yeah, man. Hey, hold on. Let me get some water. Excuse me a second.
Okay.
Yeah, this is what happened. You're in a field environment, man. It's just So Bezelou, you know, when I was out today doing a recon of the building where we're going to have the event we were just talking about,
I just sent that to you so I could pull it off of here.
Okay. What do you need me to do with it?
No. I'm taking it off now.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah. So we were there showing the young lady how I want things set up and all that business. And then here comes some of the students, some of the cheerleaders. I think they were getting ready for their practice. And then here comes this tall kid, and I recognized him right away. And I was like, he said, yes. He said, Javon. I said, yeah. I said, do you watch the podcast? He said, yes, sir. I said, we give you a hard time, don't we? He said, yes, sir. He said, I said, but I told him, I said, we want you to, now he's a freshman. This young man is a freshman. And we saw him in the first game, was very dominant from that end. And then, of course, he had a little setback. He missed a game. Then he came back and he wasn't performing at the level that we were accustomed to seeing him play. And so I told him, I said, all of our criticism or highlights, not criticism, but highlights, is want him to be, the best player, because we know he can turn it up, man. He is a tough young man. And I didn't realize he was that tall. Well, maybe I'm just that short. I don't know. But I think he's gonna. How did he play last week? Because I didn't get to see him.
He had some struggles. I hope he locked in this week and come this Friday. Just come focused, come locked in from, you know what I mean. Block everything else out except your assignment and what you got to do on this Friday. But he's young and
it's his first year. This is his sixth game he played at the varsity level.
Yeah.
But what he's demonstrated, and Georgetown wasn't really a pushover. He performed well, and he just needed to get his mindset back on that and because needed it.
I expect him to bounce back fully this week. I saw something in his eyes, once Coach got on him, where it kind of, I think the light came on. Like, all right, you know what? Let me lock in, because he loves to play, and he understand that Coach ain't about to sit there and watch you just.
Well, that's what coaches do, man.
I'm telling you to do this, and you doing this. Okay, you know what? Come over here and sit down with me since you want to do that over here.
Well, I'm sure practice this week is probably very different for him. And so he's going to grow, he's going to learn, and he's going to make mistakes along the way. But we know he can get it done because we saw him. I mean, he was on just as many tackles in that particular game as Chris Stewart.
Yep.
But then Chris going to step his game up, and he said, okay, I see this freshman coming out trying to get my sacks. He took it to another level. And that's what big time players do.
Yeah, we need them bad. We're gonna need them bad this weekend right here. This week, Friday, we're gonna need them. We're gonna need them to play big.
Going down in Timberland.
Yep. I mean, because at this point in this part of the season, you're not a freshman no more. Okay. That's why I mean, you're not a, you're not a rookie no more at this point in the season. Nah, that you've seen enough now to understand what's going on, the speed,
Yeah. And I saw Miss Jerry Davis was in the chat. So I want to make sure that there's all these bike club ladies who got all these fancy bikes. I want to see y'all at the ball. There you go, Miss Davis. We want to see you at the ball. The Lady Divas I know they're going to be there. So I'm not sure who's going to be the best dressed, who's going to have the best gown out there, but I wouldn't take any shortcuts.
If y'all can't get if y'all run out of tickets and they say they sold out, I got you. I'm not sure the QR code will work, but you be at the door. You just have to. If you got a good argument, you can get your way on in there.
Oh man.
Hey man, I remember. Have I ever bought tickets from a scalper? Yeah, I have. Yeah, most nerve-wracking thing.
Oh yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you what made me buy the tickets. We standing right in front of the police. I'm like, God damn, I know you ain't want to let me just get beat like this. And the dude was like, man, I'll walk you to the gate. And he literally walked me to the ticket gate, scanned it, then I handed him the money. And it was
and I never knew how they do that, but I went to a lot of games when I was in Colorado. That's when the Rockies all came into play. And but you see these guys everywhere with fistful of tickets, man. And it is kind of no. Why is she saying I will be there? No, we said bring the crew. You and the rest of the ladies.
Rewrite that, Miss Davis. Put that "we" on there. Go get put your French on.
Yeah, we're looking for the we. We want the place to be packed out. Again, this is for the monument that we're going to build for our POW MIA men and women. So let's do it. But yeah, man, no, and I switched back to politics, but it's a rough field to be in, especially these days and time. I don't care what side you're on. There you go. That's it. We will be there. Now we'll keep her in the family.
It's not. Listen, it's not the place. It's not the place for the timid. I mean,
no.
And if they got something on you, like again, putting on my strategist hat again. Oh man, I would if I was her strategist, we would have been talking about that so much that they would have got tired of hearing about it, because again, this is supposed to be not supposed to be, but we fashion ourselves as a Christian nation, and as I was sitting listening to Ms. Marilyn, and she was saying, well, they overlook, Trump and the 30 whatever felonies or whatever. Well, they're saying the same thing to the other side. So what it is they're applying that forgiveness where it's politically expedient. You know what I mean? That's just how the game go.
Hey, and especially when you have fear of your opponent.
That's the only reason you're gonna do it. That's the only reason. The only reason they made that website is because they got some kind of indicator that, hey, this lady is gonna be a problem.
She's a game changer,
and that's it. Like let's bloody her nose.
Yeah. So anytime when you give your opposition some concern, then they just start throwing mud, what they heard, they think they know, and that's what comes out. And it's for the people, man, to read through it. And I heard one of the interviewers says, well, she's got some great support. I guess people commenting on the article that was published, and this is a gamble when you do this. So when you attack someone like this, people don't like that. People don't, reasonable people do not like when you
because if people are honest, they don't need to look so far in the mirror or right down the hall or right in the chair beside them, and there's somebody that's that they feel like that's deserving of grace.
Yeah. And again, the interviewer is like, hey, it looks like this has backfired on them. You heard that question?
I heard that. I heard that. Yeah.
Same guy who wrote the article.
Yeah, same guy who. How ironic is that? Like, and that's. I thought it was a backhanded comment. I don't trust. That's just my hat. That's just. I
breaking up again.
Yeah, I'm not trusting of the media. I'm not trusting, especially that guy. And I didn't think that came out of. It could backfire, but I wouldn't rest on that.
Once you decide that you're going to choose a side, whether it's for monetary reasons or that's where your beliefs are, it's going to come out. So if you look at and start looking at these interviews side by side,
yes,
the same questions not being asked of all the candidates.
I'm working on that, y'all. I'm working on putting together I'm sorry. I'm working on putting together that proof, because you can look at him when he's interviewing Giroux, and he does it so much that it's easy for me to find it. You feel what I'm saying? And it's not hard to look. Like it's not like I had to go back years and years and years. No. And then you listen to how he's chosen a side.
And it's happening even on the bigger media scale, because I know the same young lady who did the interview for the flooding, when she comes down and started, interviewing me, we will have this long, extensive, here's what it is. Here's what you were brought down here to look into. Here's it in writing. Here's how we're doing business. And we'll go back and report something totally different. So some people, some places are targeted, and that's okay, because I don't have to operate based on what you believe or what you report. But you just watch how Andrews grow, and that's the way it is. And I don't rely on these people to tell our story anymore, because they're not going to be fair.
No, and that's Miss to all of those candidates.
You're breaking up again, brother.
Yeah, to all of the candidates, do not wait around to tell your story. You know what I mean? And I know Miss I think my internet is just my internet is about fried. What could we do? We could take
you got the gremlin. You got the gremlin over there.
Yeah, I hear it. I don't know what I got going on here. But yeah, my thing would be to these candidates is as you are out here doing the people's work, you need to document it. Okay, you really need to document it, not for the purpose of, hey, look at me, but for the purpose of when you get attacked like this, you can pull receipts out.
Because it was choppy. Are you there? You good now?
Yeah. I don't know what I got going on here. Just hang tight. Hang tight. Okay. Let me reset this.
Okay.
All right.
I think you're back.
Yep. I think so.
See, when you start making all those critical points, then we start getting scrambled. I think that's it's an attack.
The Republican Party of Georgetown have shown that they engage in computer warfare. That's what that's called. That's called cyber warfare. That's what and they wasn't ready, and I don't think they were ready today. You know what I mean? Again,
I think the podcast is being attacked, man. We got a cyber attack going on.
Oh, we got some fans too now. We got some fans that just like, I'm gonna start screenshot when their names start popping up in my feed. Like, the algorithm does not lie. Like, when they come around looking around, Like, yeah. So
Yeah, that's the third strike. They just hit the button again.
but yeah, man. But that's about all I got for the night. Unless you got something else you want to talk about.
Well, I don't want to get so caught up in what's happening across, in the other municipality, because we have an election in Andrews as well. So we have 3 candidates. Again, Mayor Pro Tem Eddie Lee is running for a seat again. Councilwoman Angela Anderson, and then we have a new candidate that's on board, Mr. Brian Gary. 3 seats, 3 candidates, but you never know. They don't need to take that lightly. They need to get out here and
no. What y'all need to do is strike up some controversy and get me interested. No.
Now we want to keep this thing. Hey, we want to get through this process without a whole lot of. We have enough of that.
Hey, it has Gab come over and interviewed any of them, and he just don't. It ain't enough controversy for him either, huh?
I don't know. I would have to ask the candidate, but I haven't seen anything online. So
listen, if it don't involve getting rid of Frank McGlary, Gab ain't interested in that. I gotta pull that video up.
There's another strike
again.
On the podcast.
I'm going for it tonight. Listen, I gotta pull that video up. Let's see if I got a few seconds so I can pull that video up. When he tried to attack you in the court at that court at the county council. Oh my God, that was so funny.
Hey, I promise you, I think you are being attacked, because every time you speak, they're throwing the switch on you, man. You're too powerful. You're being attacked. Everything you said a few minutes ago, it came in scrambled.
Yeah, that's all right. I got something for them. Hold on a second. Let me find this here.
You're gonna have to go out here and get this this spyware and all this other stuff. Get it taken off your system.
Well, yeah, I gotta get back on.
There you go. See,
I'm not on the VPN tonight. I don't know what's going on. Hold on a second. Let's see what we can do here.
Now we have no sound. So who do we have in the comment section here?
All right, there we
go. Okay. Yeah, I think you're under attack, brother.
Constant, and I'm keep my head on the swivel. I was doing a job in Kinston the day and kept looking around like Scott was going to jump out of the dang pecan tree or something.
Yeah, they on to you, man. But it's all good. Hey, not sure. Did you get to talk a little bit about the Sweet Potato Festival?
Yep,
I see Miss Pilo in the comment section.
Yep, she was on earlier talking about the Sweet Potato Festival. And just like that, all of the flyers are not on here when I refreshed it. But yeah, that's going to take place November 14th and 15th down there at Hasty Point.
Yes.
Look forward to that. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for my boy, Scotty Dottie.
Yeah, again, I apologize for the delay, but I was trying to make my way to this undisclosed location. So
let's see here.
Oh man, I've got chief. I won't call his name yet. I won't call his name, but a young chief in one of the neighboring municipalities. He's donating $100 towards the monument.
Okay, that's what's up. I promise you he ain't from Swansea because they don't have police no more. And he's probably not from Lake City either.
Yeah, so he's let me see what he's got going.
Have you been tracking that? Have you been seeing these towns kind of folding? Not kind of, but folding.
No, it's tough. It's really, the challenge with keeping, getting your certified officers, keeping them on board for, for any extended period of time, because you're competing with county, state, DNR, all these other places that, paying a whole lot much more money than some of the smaller places can, and so you lose them. And I think that's in many of the cases, people are just getting tired of trying to fight that battle. I don't think the gap in terms of the shortages that has been talking about, was it 3,000 or 5,000 officers across the state? Mm-hmm. One of the two. I don't think that has improved a lot, and so it's a struggle, and that's why it's important for all of the agencies to work closely together to cover the gap, because we all should be have the same concern, and that's about making sure that citizens, regardless of where the jurisdiction begins and ends, we should be concerned about doing what we can to make sure that they're taken care of. And so I'm not, but I wasn't following that particular case.
Yeah, I've been following these just a bunch of craziness. You had one sheriff up in Spartanburg who got arrested. Apparently he was addicted to Candy Crush.
Yeah, I did see that. I think several $1,000s allegedly spent on that stuff.
Yep.
It's hard to explain what's going on in our country right now and what's motivating people to do the things that they're doing.
You're seeing Gab News harass the mayor of Andrews.
You're harassing me right now.
As you can see this right here. So you.
That's probably the last time y'all talked right there. Scotty was bad. Well, you wouldn't answer
any more?
Scott ain't like you was like y'all was deep. Like talk to me.
I was not ready for that one. That was a long time ago, was it?
Hey man, I got all the records. Yeah, that was a good little couple years ago.
You see, keeping the receipts.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because they lie. They will lie. They will lie.
Yeah, we weren't on the best of terms. Again, it's just hard for me to engage with people who I just feel it doesn't have, it's not fair across the board when it comes to reporting.
Listen, he quit you and went to Jerome. It became Jerome's puppet. I'm your puppet. Oh man! All right, let me get up. I gotta get me something to eat. I gotta get me something.
All right, you gotta choose your path, man. It's all good. We just gotta do what we know is best to do, regardless of where you are. Take care of your people, and I think everything will work itself out.
Absolutely. All right, guys, y'all, please, if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that follow button again, so that anytime we do these videos, especially on Tuesday night, you'll be the first one in here, so you can join the conversation. Okay.
So who's your player of the game coming up?
For this coming game?
Putting you on the spot.
I'm looking for Avery, man. It ain't. Listen,
who's gonna have the best game?
Avery Durham.
You stole my choice, man.
Avery Durham. I promise you that. Now,
those big name players, the AJs, the Chris Stewarts, those guys will always be performing at it.
They're gonna do what they do.
Yeah, but I see when you start talking about improve. I'll say this so we can get off, but Avery's been improving at a rate, man, that that is, and at a time that is critical, and so. You better watch that.
I had a little problem with him being left off that list this week. I thought he earned his way onto that. I thought he earned his way onto that list a couple of weeks ago. But man, come on, what's the criteria? What do you got to do? I mean, he threw for a touchdown. He ran a touchdown. He controlled the offense without interception, without a fumble. Like, you know what I mean? He ran for positive yards. What's the criteria?
I don't know. I don't know
Coach, what's going on over there? My guy. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna lobby for him because he's playing now. If he wasn't playing, if he wasn't balling, then that'd be something else. You wouldn't hear nothing from me. But you know, I'm sure they'll work that out, and he'll prove him again. He'll back up what I'm saying. So that's how that's gonna rock. He gonna back up what I'm saying.
And again, you're gonna have Davion. Those guys are gonna play at that high level. But what we're talking about right now is these players that are emerging now to complement the Chris, the Davions, the AJ, you know, that kind of stuff. So Avery is one, and I'm gonna go ahead and say Bryce Cannon.
Yeah, I look for Bryce to make. I would like to see Bryce get hit on that double move again. We had him set up for that double move last week. I thought Coach was gonna pull the trigger on that.
And Caden is gonna have a big game. I think Dorsey's gonna have a big game. I don't think he had a big breakout game yet.
No, he been nagged by little nagging, you know, injuries. I think he was in the protocol 1 week. Yeah, just little nagging things. I think. Yeah, but I think this is the week he gets healthy, and we beat Timberland. I don't think we've done that. You know, I don't remember us beating Timberland.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can't recall. But I think these you know, again, we got our standouts that play hard every game, you know, Riley and all them boys and Madison, they all play hard. But we're talking about now, because I'm seeing Cannon used both on the offense and the defense in different positions. So there's a big dollar. And don't count the Marlowe brothers. And Malachi Flegler, another young man playing hard. LJ. So I'm looking at it all come together. So I guess I got a whole bunch of favorites.
No doubt. Looking forward to it. It'd be good if we can get these guys in there.
Hey, look, I'm telling you, these guys got at least one play, not a series, one play. And then we can call the ambulance.
Oh, man. Hey, listen. Speaking of the ambulance, man, have you checked on the Dallas Cowboy fans this week? Oh,
man, them Cowboy fans are hiding.
Hey, I enjoy that thoroughly.
They're fighting each other now, so they're going after each other.
I enjoyed that victory thoroughly. Rico Dowdle. I mean, Rico told them boys, pack a lunch. Like I said, looking at them coming off the bus, not a lunch bag, not a lunch box. And that boy put 200. Dallas is in. Dallas got problems. They got problems.
239 yards.
And for the record, if the Panthers don't win another game this year, Leroy Haywood, we beat y'all.
Hey, I tell you, the Cowboy fans are fighting each other now.
Wow.
And when they lose this week, I think they need to go ahead and throw in the tower, cancel the rest of the season, and go home.
And Dak playing some good ball, but y'all defense is Swiss cheese. I mean,
somebody said those guys can make a tackle inside of a phone booth.
Hey, I can run up there in 10 carries. I believe I can get between 45 and 60 yards. I don't even need to know the playbook.
Cynthia, Tammy, all these Cowboy fans. Man.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long year. Do what y'all always do. Go buy a bunch of Dallas gear for Christmas and coddle yourself.
It's over. You know, you got to just make room for the coach. We're on our way.
Yeah, who y'all got this week?
Oh, man. Hey, look, and as I tell my those Cowboy fans, man, I say I don't even follow the coach, man. I just wait for I got to follow the Dallas Cowboys so I can talk trash. But I got something for it. Let's check it out. Hold on. So I traveled with this today. Travel with this. All right, hold on. I got something else in here for them. Yeah, these all the winning teams. You know, I travel with them. All right, here we go. Got the Yellow Jackets. Two winning franchises. Now time for the losers. Travel with these guys today. Losers.
Raiders.
They can't get it done. Hold on, I got one more. Got something in here. I brought this fortune that I almost forgot about. Yeah, I'm about to throw this outside. All the losers right here. So many Raiders fans and Cowboy fans, man. We got to get rid of them. Stick with these cats right here. Can't go wrong.
Hey, you must be in the hood, all of sirens, man.
Oh, you can hear them?
Yeah.
Oh, Cynthia. See, hey, that's my
Delusional.
girl. But she seriously needs some counseling, man.
Delusional.
Big time delusional. Tammy Solomon, gone. Chris Crawford, gone. Charles Johnson, all these cats. Jerry Davis, gone. I'm not gonna say anything bad about Felicia. She says, hey, it's a lot of
Felicia
going around here, man.
Felicia had a rough weekend. The only thing that went right for Felicia this past weekend, sports wise, is Andrews High won. State went up there and they trapped, ruined their homecoming, and then they came to Charlotte.
How do you book South Carolina State? You don't book State for your homecoming, and apparently you don't book Andrews Yellow Jackets for your homecoming either.
Woodland won't do that next year.
That was a bad move, man. Hey, but I appreciate your time and you guys, hanging in there so I can come and have, partake in these very interesting conversations we just have on this set. But we got to keep it up. But then we done got these Cowboy fans fired up now. They can go to sleep. But the Panthers, that was your breakout game.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm not a fan of midget quarterbacks, and but I was rooting for old Bryce Young. I was rooting the other day. Now I can't stand a short quarterback. Golly,
like Mayfield.
Yeah, but hold on a second. Where am I at here? Yeah, I mean, you got some guys that, you know what I mean, throughout history that did some things, but I don't even want to hear about Baker Mayfield because he was borderline retarded when he was in Carolina. Yeah, he just goes to Tampa down there in the division too. He balling too. I got to give it to him. He balling. He is balling.
He's doing well. I can't wait for Sanders, man, to get his break. I think he probably need to leave Cleveland.
I'm not in that camp. I promise you that. He
really?
Yeah, leave Cleveland to do what? Like, and that's the thing about the NFL, man. Like, people are like, oh man, this, they whatever. Like, first of all, this is the one organization that has made more black male millionaires than any other organization in the United States.
But they've earned it.
And there's not a coach that's gonna have a kid over here that can't win. I mean, that can win and just gonna leave him on the bench. Like, I'm just gonna lose my job.
Nobody but Cleveland.
Hey, and another thing. Cleveland paid 8 quarterbacks this year.
I know.
And if I'm them, man, listen. The kid can't learn. The kid don't know the playbook. He can't read coverages. And they
had Flacco in front of him. Now Flacco's gone.
Hey, and again, if he was that good, they would have
Mhm.
traded him. A team would have been like, hey, but when you tell 10 teams, nah, dog, don't pick me. Don't pick me.
Well, I think he's learning. I think they're learning their lesson in terms of all of this,
He ain't his
Hollywood.
daddy. He ain't his daddy. He don't have the talent his
did.
daddy got.
But he can throw
NFL
that ball.
don't-
I'm telling you.
I just don't see it. He holds the ball too long. He did that in Colorado, and I mean, you playing at Colorado, you should have just came to state, bro, for real. Like I just don't see. I don't see the.
You don't see him making it.
No,
Yeah.
not in.
I got a couple bands on him.
Yeah, he. I believe you're gonna lose that. I think what Cleveland's gonna do, which I would too, because they got so much money invested in the kid from Clemson, Watson.
Yeah,
Deshaun Watson. I think they gotta go back and kick the tires on. They spent so much money into him, and so if they can get him on the field stood up. But I just don't think Shedeur Sanders is ready. I don't think he. I think being under his dad, playing under that helicopter dad system he played his whole entire career from little league till the time he left Colorado under his dad.
but look at his numbers coming out though. They were among the best.
In Colorado,
Yeah,
they suck. That conference sucked. He wouldn't have done nothing in the SEC. That conference sucks.
It's gonna be an interesting. I think if he gets out of there, I want to see him get a chance.
If I'm the Cleveland coach, I'm sending his ass home. I don't, because now if you play him and he go out there and he stink it up, it's the lineman, the system ain't right. Y'all need to get Dion over there. If he go out there and make a play or two, you should have been playing.
A lot of these quarterbacks trying to be, trying to run a little bit so more than they should. So I think about midway of the season, there are going to be some injuries. There's going to be an opportunity for them to offload him. And once this kid goes,
I mean, he should be able to. This is the sorriest league for quarterbacks. I mean, what I mean sorry is they called a pass interference. My man fingers literally just, he laid a finger on Dak's helmet. You can't hit the quarterback. You can't separate. You see Michael Irvin's rant?
Man, Irvin need to leave that stuff alone.
Hey, listen, hey, the playmaker said, baby, this how you want these plays, you got to take it all.
This dude crashed out hard.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're a Hall of Famer. Why are you worrying about how someone is critiquing your game that's been over, 20 years? I don't know how long it's been.
Because his whole ego is wrapped up into the Michael Irvin, into the playmaker. You know what I mean?
And in fact, I think he's that's the last time they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, when Andrews High School won state championship, which was in 1995, 30 years ago. Yeah,
yeah. So Michael, yeah, he don't. Man, let these jokers talk, man.
Hey, man, what Dave Chappelle say? Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
And I wonder if he go back to watch these rants he had. There's nothing cute about what you're doing, partner. It's not going to get you another gig on ESPN. Do like Shannon Sharp, get your podcast, make some money, because there's a lot of people that want to hear what he has to say. Not me. Maybe it's Cynthia and all them Cowboy fans.
Hey, that was Coke Boy fans.
Yeah.
During them days, them championships came with a lot of, because Jimmy Johnson just let them boys run straight from Miami.
He know how to handle them. Let them do their thing, keep them off the drug test, and we win championships back to back. So, all right, bro.
Man.
We'll get up and get back to the home front.
No doubt. All right, ladies, hold on a second here. I wanted to play a special video for the outro here. Y'all give me 1 second here.
Oh man, don't bring back the McCleary.
Nah. I ain't hit you with that one.
That was funny though. That was funny.
That was unreal that night.
But I felt like I was. I mean, am I anybody important for just to be chased down for my thoughts or opinion on something?
Boy, he wanted to talk. He couldn't take it. You gonna talk to me? He won't answer my questions. God damn, Scott, this ain't 1700. You don't own you can't own people no more. You know that, right?
Yeah, that part is not going to happen. Yes, I'm free falling.
Man, Scott, you might get off the hook tonight, big dog. If this video don't load, I'm out of here. Let's see what we got. Oh no, you're not off the hook. There's a difference between reporting the news and trying to make the news. And right now, it looks like Gab News.
Y'all have a good
side
night.
of the line they're supposed to be on. Because what they're doing, pushing out half-baked stories, parroting party talking lines, and helping the local GOP run smear campaigns is not journalism. That's political interference dressed up as news. Let's be clear here. The Georgetown County Republican Party has actually built a whole website dedicated to attacking one candidate, Jesse Walker. Not a debate, not a press conference, a website. That's obsession, not oversight. And instead of standing back and reporting fairly, Gab News jumped right in. They didn't verify, they didn't clarify. What they did was amplified. And this is where it gets real dangerous, because when the media starts doing the bidding of a political party, you don't have journalism anymore. You've got propaganda with a press badge. And what makes this even worse is these same folks love to wave the Bible around. They talk about forgiveness, redemption, and Christian values until it's somebody they don't like. Apparently, their kind of Christianity has a party line. Because once you've made a mistake, if you don't wear their colors, there's no redemption for you. But here's the truth. Jessie Walker paid her dues to society. She went through the system. She did what the law required. And if the state says she's eligible, then the rest of us ought to respect that. What we don't need is a so-called news outlet trying to sway an election from behind his keyboard, because that's not just unethical, it's dangerous. When the press becomes a political weapon, the people lose power. The very people that the press is supposed to be there to protect. So yeah, let's talk about values, because it's not very Christian to condemn somebody forever. And just so you know, it's also not very American to use the news to do a party's dirty work. Gab News, I know exactly what it is you're doing. You're not reporting a story. You're actually becoming a part of it. And that's exactly how democracies fall in small towns first.